Hello. No one. Okay, I guess probably people can hear us. So let me go onto my YouTube page so that I can make sure that I can see everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's sit at the bar. Hold on. We have to make this slight change.
you guys styling your look. Feel free.
I was trying to do this behind the bar, but apparently
no. You know what? The deal is with doing stuff at your bar on your computer, your iPad is like you can't always get like the right perspective. You know what I mean?
Maggie?
Here we go. Here's my live stream. Here we go. Okay. Hi.
Like the right perspective.
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Maggie? Mute this. Here we go. Okay. All right, good. Hi. Okay, good. So I'm gonna add everyone. There are already people watching. So hi, everybody who's watching. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, welcome, and thanks for hanging out. Hi, Kames. Hi, everybody. Hi from Texas. Somebody already said hi from Texas. Hi from Texas. Yes, your people came in and cast. Your people are here.
Oh my God, my wig.
Your hair. I mean, your wig. Just the wig always looks good. No matter. Well, it's exciting right now. It is really. It's really exciting. So welcome everybody to Liquid Courage Happy Hour, and so excited you guys are here. We're going to be making spritzes, and our charity today is Team Rubicon, and they are incredibly highly rated. They have a 4-star rating on Charity Navigator. And as you guys know, I talk about this a lot. A high rating like that means that a majority of their resources, and specifically the money that you donate, goes directly to the people that they serve, which is why they're such a great organization. Yes. Another thing I'm super excited about with Team Rubicon is that it is an organization of veterans. So essentially what they do is that they retrain and deploy American veterans to work in areas that are experiencing some kind of crisis. So hurricane issues, other kinds of natural disasters. Right now, they're deploying vets all across the country to support COVID relief efforts. So it's a rad organization. I encourage you to learn more about them. If you would like to donate, great. I'm going to be donating at the end of this hour, like I always do, to every charity that I support, and any amount helps. As always, if you are in need of help, there is a place you can go to find out more. 211.org for the United States and 211.ca is a gathering place for all kinds of resources for people that are suffering and going through any kind of crisis during this particular COVID crisis. If you need food help, if you need financial help, if you need mental health support, 211.org for the United States and 211.ca for Canada. So thanks everybody for hanging. If you guys are having trouble with buffering, it is you and not me. The Zoom is going perfectly. Thank you very much. So, I worked very hard over the last month and a half to get my Zoom shit straight. So if you're having tech problems at home, I can confidently say for the first time in my life that my Zoom is fucking on point. Okay, so hi everybody. Say hi to my friend.
Like a Barbara Welter special too.
I know.
My Zoom is fucking lit, okay.
What is the lighting?
What is the lighting? It's the natural light of the outdoors.
You got some Barbara Welter special going on over there. You are looking just
very glowing.
Also, I wore a bounce. I'm just getting a little bit like a light bounce from my shirt. Welcome my very good friends to this particular happy hour. I don't know where you guys are in my lineup, but you're above me or to the side of me. Cassandra Gina Mel, who directed the thing we're going to talk about on the show today, Speech and Debate. My very, very lovely and occasionally evil co-star, Stephen Amell, who went to the same they're very, very funny and talented nemesis, Stephen Amell. And then over there, depending where you're looking, Cayman Edwards, who both wrote Speech and Debate, also acts in it. Stephen and Cayman, you may not know, went to the same hairstylist this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Her name's Miss Rona.
Yeah. Lives in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So hi guys, how are you? How is your quarantine going?
Oh, yeah, good. Sure. It's going well.
It could be worse. We're in a very sunny place. The weather is nice, and I'm not going to complain because it could be worse things. Yeah, can I tell you guys that I have seen sometimes where the cork just blows off of the bottle?
Yeah.
And now every time I start to open one, I'm like,
yeah.
That is a practical way to approach opening a bottle of wine. Like, you act like you're like, no, that is the right way to do it. You should be avoiding your face. You should be aiming it away from your body.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of people getting hit in the eye and losing an eye from that. Have we
Oh
heard
my
that?
God, don't say that. This is
Yeah, I've seen
Stop
videos.
pointing at me.
I'm not pointing it, I'm just holding it.
And you're shaking it.
You're supposed to aim it away from you, and you're supposed to turn the cork. I've done this with you guys on the show before. Turn the cork in the bottle in opposite direction.
Hey.
It's like you had a sword and you just.
I'm giving you
Ah.
Oh, you hit Cayman. Good work.
Loaded.
So first of all, good. Thank you, Hannah. Some guy was like, "This is buffering." I'm like, you need to look within yourself if you're buffering.
We're buffering, it's not us.
It spent 8 weeks of work to get this right, everybody. In fact, you guys, I feel like I give myself like a 6 on like the technologically capable scale.
You just edited some photos for us.
Well,
which-
I do. I'm like a student of YouTube University. Like, I don't know how to do it before, but I figure it out by looking at videos. But
Yeah, I'd say that your technological abilities are right akin to your ability to be on time for things.
I was early today, and I have been for the last 14 days of my life.
Because you're not going anywhere.
What finally made Aisha be places on time? It was a global pandemic.
Well, I have nothing else to do all day, but I've been working so hard on getting this right because I was doing it on Instagram, and you can only add one person. So then I switched to Zoom, and I had to figure out how to stream a Zoom to YouTube and to Facebook. This was like it's very stressful. So people who have been watching the stream from the beginning had like a really enjoyable few sessions where I was just on here by myself from like 4:40 to 5 o'clock, just being like, okay.
Can you hear me? How about that?
Working, I can't make it.
Did you see the SNL sketch last week where they do the Zoom, like the old lady's doing Zoom, and she accidentally makes her picture Wayne Brady?
Oh my God. Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
It's so good. She's like, all right, did I do it? They're like, no, now you're just Wayne Brady. And she's like, ah, damn it.
Leave it. I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
So when I switched to Zoom, I switched to my computer, and we were just talking about this before we went live, that like, it's hard to kind of get like a really good, it's hard to show your bar on this little tiny, these are not real problems, guys. I understand that, but I just want everybody to see what we're gonna make today, because we're gonna make a drink, and then we're gonna talk about this new short that we just put out on Sunday called Speech and Debate. It stars Stephen and Aisha and Cayman wrote it, and Cassandra directed it. You can see it right now on Stephen's socials, on his IGTV, and that's where it lives. It lives on IGTV.
It lives on my my IGTV, which is Instagram.com/Stephen Amell. It's on my Facebook page. Cass is okay. This is weird.
Thank you.
Okay, it's on my Facebook page, and it's also on YouTube. If you go on Google and you type in speech and debate, Stephen Amell or Aisha Tyler or short or speech and debate, groundbreaking mockumentary comedy, it's gonna come right up.
Yes, yeah, you will find it. So it's
My goal is for us to be above the gif of Trump behind Hillary at the debate, where he's
I just want us to be
behind.
above the GIF of any one of the thousands of pictures online of a black porn star with a penis that's like a baby's arm. I would like us to just be him on just one search. His name is King. No, his name is Wood. I don't want him King, but his name is Wood, which seems equally appropriate. Anyway, so we're gonna make a spritz, everybody, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about the charity, and then we're gonna talk about speech and debate, and then we're gonna answer your questions. So we're making a spritz. It's a classic drink. I think actually from the turn of the century, because it mainly just involves some kind of a bitter. I'm gonna push this down a little bit, and water and champagne. But in the olden days, it would just be water and bitters, because bitters were invented by monks in Italy and Europe so that they could drink and have medicine, when really they were just getting fucked up because they lived in a house in the hills with nothing to do, just a bunch of dudes around. For some of them, that was a great option. For some of them, that was no option at all. And so the guys for whom other boys were not an option fell into the bottle.
That's what I think.
And that's so, you guys might be most familiar with Campari. That is the probably the most famous Apero or Amaro that we know, the most famous bitters. But there's lots of them out there, and I got some others so that I could show them to you. This is an American aperitivo, very similar to Campari by Leopold Brothers, and I'm super excited to try. I got my very special best friend to drive around LA today, wearing his mask, to get me a bottle of this brand new Martini and Rossi Reserva Special that I'm really excited to try as well. I love spritzes. Most people make them with Aperol.
I will be using the basic bitch version.
You're doing the classic.
I like your term for it better.
Yes, I said it didn't have enough alcohol for mama, is what I said. It didn't have enough booze for mama in it.
No.
And he indicated before he got online that his bar was running a little low right now.
I have drank me out of house and home. I did just get a bottle of vodka from your friend Kirsten, though.
Oh, good. Oh, Kirsten. Oh, yay. Can you hold it up? Do you have it there?
I have it.
Oh, good. So you guys know my friend Kirsten's got a distillery called Blinking Owl. I've used some of her spirits in some of the drinks so far, and came in and her just met today, and he brought. Oh, this is exciting! She gave you a bottle of booze.
Yeah,
Well,
it's orange and it's wonderful.
Oh, you can have orange martinis with us too.
We also make bottles of booze in case anybody didn't know that.
Yes, they do. So we're this is a booze drinking and booze making family. The Amels have a winery called Knocking Point. Maybe you've heard of it. That's a picture of our friend.
I wish I had a bottle of your wine. I don't think we do that.
That's a picture
Do you
of
have one of ours?
Yeah, we do.
We okay.
I did a wine collaboration with Knocking
Oh, hey, there it is.
Night Ender. That I used the money to donate to charity, because that's what I love to do. And I think
Can you still buy that one?
Can you still buy Night Ender, or is it gone away?
I can handle this one. Yes, you can. At knockingpoint.com, you can still buy bottles of Night Ender. And Aisha, we would be more than happy if people end up doing that to kick something to a charitable component of your choosing, because that's what we're doing right now. Believe it or not, people want to drink at this moment.
Weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let me think about that for a second. Yeah. So you can buy Night Ender at knockingpoint.com. We'll figure. I know I gave the last time out to International Rescue Committee, so maybe we can continue with that charity for this particular wine. And you guys have a new one that's also out right now for charity, right? That you guys
Yes.
some people that I've never heard of. Can you tell people what that one's about?
Well, we've got two going on right now. We've got Codate and Chill, which is the newest wine that came out.
Yeah.
And then
For all of your binge watching.
and then
needs.
yeah, and then Drew paired up Drew and Jen both dug in with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and made something called Official Quarantine Wine. So officialquarantinewine.com, or you just go to Knocking Point. And
Or bestwineryever.com.
Yeah, you can also go to bestwineryever.com, which is
Great
a
name for
domain
winery.
that we own. But it's going gangbusters right now. It's really exciting. And we keep scrolling through the page and seeing random people that have bought it that that are celebrities, which is super weird because you can tell that they're just going on the site and they're buying it. But we are well on our way to raising, frankly, millions of dollars for charity.
Yes.
Really cool.
Thrilled. So for those of you that are watching, and I like a big part of this happy hour, other than just being able to be together, even though we're stuck at home, and getting let off a little steam and getting to watch me get rapidly intoxicated on an empty stomach, which I'm sure you guys have been enjoying for the past couple of months, and I don't care, Mom. Another part of it is that a lot of us are stuck at home and we feel like there's nothing we can do, and so it's exciting for me to do this happy hour to just kind of call people's attention to things that they can do. It doesn't have to be a big, insurmountable, kind of overwhelming goal. There are people out there who are doing the real hero work, but whatever we can do on our own and sometimes together can really make a difference. Like I said, if you donate $5 to a charity and we all donate $5 to a charity, that's going to make a huge difference. So wouldn't it be great if also if you donated some money to charity and then booze showed up at your house afterwards?
Yeah, Aisha,
also a good thing.
one of the first charitable things that I ever did was just doing like a GoFundMe page. And what I did was I encouraged people to donate $5.
Mm-hmm.
Not 100, not 1,000, $5. And the long tail of that makes more of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course someone occasionally pops on and just gives like 20,000.
Crazy, right? Yes, exactly. I'm just tweeting, I'm letting people know that we're live with you guys right now. So speaking to that, I think that's such good advice. It doesn't have to be something that it's the price of a cup of coffee, the price of your iced latte. And by the way, none of us are having iced lattes right now. So you could just donate what you would have spent like last week on picking up a coffee in the morning on the way to work. And that can make a real difference.
Of my balls for an iced latte. It's what I probably miss the most. Is an iced latte.
You can't make
my own martini.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling everybody that we're live right now. Now, people also know that Courage and Stone is donating a third of all the money we make right now to the U.S. Bartenders Guild. We're giving back to a part of the community that's been shut down and that really can't pivot. A lot of restaurants are doing takeout or delivery, pickup, that kind of thing. Bars are closed and they will not open for quite a bit of time. So a third of everything we make from Courage and Stone is going to the U.S. Bartenders Guild. And so that's also a nice way to give back while also getting a buzz. Getting a buzz in the heart, and then also wherever you get a buzz in your body. I'm not a scientist. So
wait a minute, aren't you?
You once told me you were a medical professional.
I play so many very medical professionals.
Well.
I've taken your medical advice before, but
my specialty is playing doctors and scientists. And once I did an interview once where someone said, "Do you ever get tired of being typecast?" And I was like, "As a Black scientist?"
I mean, you know what?
God, all these stereotypes are just killing me.
Well, bottom line, that Ivy League school education had to go somewhere. And
it had to go somewhere.
And, you know, it's
Stephen, did you catch the bear that attacked you? Where are your sleeves?
Okay, here's what happened. I right before we got on this call, which by the way, I had no idea was happening because I've been doing a bunch of things for speech and debate today, actually, but it was a quadrant of speech and debate. And it didn't include our group text because we got so much stuff going on with Knocking Point. And Cass is like, I've got my thing at 5:30, but then I've also got that thing at 5 o'clock with Aisha where we're going on and talking about speech and debate. And I went, what the fuck is that? What are you talking about?
I go, you don't have to do it. And he goes, why don't I get to come?
I didn't know. I ripped these just a few minutes ago. And you know what? I've got celebrity stylists that are following my daily posts.
Satirically, like
no,
I'm
your arm skirt look that you got going on, the little arm mini skirts that you make.
This is a Survivor buff.
It's a shoulder kilt.
a shoulder kilt.
It's a clavicle skirt. Okay, so we're gonna make this spritz, and then we're gonna drink it, and then we're gonna talk about speech and debate. So the spritz recipe varies, but this is a very easy one. And here's what I like: 2 ounces of your Amaro or Apero, and then 2 ounces of champagne. But I think the recipe is 2 ounces of booze, 1 ounce of champagne, and 1 ounce of.
I have it on the bottle right here. It says.
Yeah, you tell me because I was gonna follow a recipe from online.
2-1.
I never put
3, 2, 1. Although I
3-2.
will say, like, I don't know about Apple because this one clearly, this one says 2, 2, 1. It says this one says even parts, top with soda, and this says 3, 2, 1.
See that? So, they lie to you. See how they lie.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
So mine is 2, 2, 1. So 2 Campari or any other Aperol, 2 bubbles, and then 1 soda water.
Or you could just blindfold yourself, mix up the bottles, and see how that goes.
Because Cass takes such good care of me, it like in a weird way has made me useless with a lot of basic tasks. So she'll ask me.
Yes, we can't aver.
She'll go, hey, I want to have an Aperol spritz. And I'll be like, I don't know how to make that. And I'll say it constantly. And she'll just look at me and go,
it's
the fucking ingredients are on the
like
bottle.
This is like I've seen Maddie's homework have more complicated instructions than what is on the back of an Aperol spritz bottle.
Yeah.
I have to get my wine glass. Okay, so you guys know what they typically look like. They're in a wine glass and they come with lots and lots of ice.
This is a pool
ice. Yes, you guys, you're already ahead of me. So ice, and then you can measure it. And you guys always see me measure on the show, but I'm just gonna eyeball this because this is a pretty easy drink to make.
Well, as we can see, the ratio is up for interpretation.
One, and if you do parts instead of measurements, like 2 ounces, 2 ounces, 1 ounce, then you can just do, this much and then this much and then that much. So I opened this bottle a while ago because I've been home alone. Oh no, the cork is stuck in the bottle.
Watch your eyes. Watch your eyes.
Oh, technical difficulties, everybody. Please stand back.
No.
Well, while I'm trying to wrestle the cork out of this bottle, let's talk about, oh, I did it. We are actually in isolation, no matter what it looks like. Let's hear about the origins of speech and debate from Cayman and then from Cassandra. Tell us all about how this project got started.
Yeah, I wrote it as a feature probably I think 13 or 14 years ago. And then just kind of forgot about it.
You're so young. Were you like 9 when you wrote it?
Yes, I wrote it in the womb. And Cass wanted to film something when we did that, like November?
Yeah, I called you and said, how about that one thing that you wrote that one time? And we looked at a couple other things just in case to make sure that, obviously we'd have something as a wish list, but I was really worried about how we would get a school in November, how we would make that work. So I said, let's talk about some other ideas and concepts, but that was my favorite from the beginning. I read the script probably 7-8 years ago. I feel like just reading your stuff. So I wanted to revisit that and came and rewrote it in short format. Obviously, we think it turned out really funny.
Yeah.
And we worked around sort of some of the bits and pieces of having a traditional school. So, yeah.
Olive's in it.
No.
Yeah, I know. I knew Cassandra was going to be upset by this, but she's far away enough that it can't really affect her personally. This is the traditional way to have a spritz because it's Italian. So you'll typically see it with an orange slice, but you also typically see it with olives. And
I have an orange Cascella drink stir.
Thank you, Federico.
That qualifies. I also have this bag of dry oranges that I have been wearing out.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? And
That's so rich.
I'm
Aisha.
rich with my bag of dried orange slices. Yes.
Just so you know, Cass and I love this drink. We love Aperol spritzes, but there have been 2 times where we order them and they come and they've got fucking olives in them. So now every single time because olives give you warts, it's a known fact. Every single time we order Aperol spritzes, we quickly go, hey, but just you guys don't put olives in them, do you?
And almost nobody does. So every time you say that, you probably look like they look at you like you're insane.
Ew, why would we put olives
when you
in
say
it?
that, they go, you're a maniac. Why would anybody do that? But
Exactly. But both times I hate it when someone's like, can't you just take it out? I'm like, no, it tastes
olive.
I can taste the olive and it's ruining my beverage.
That's an unreasonable, in my opinion, aversion to olives. It is even seeing them, it's
Oh, I live for olives, but if you put it in my Aperol spritz,
Uh-uh.
I don't know.
Je ne sais quoi, like a sweet and sour. I don't know. Anyway, cheers, my very good friends.
Cheers.
Cheers, my lovelies. Yay. So
These are my grandmother's glasses. My mom sent them to me.
Oh, that's adorable.
I'm counting the days until I break these and feel extreme guilt. I just handle them with such care.
It's actually nice to be home. I mean, obviously everybody's going through a really tough time now, but when you're home, to treat yourself. I mean, I think that's the thing, you're stuck at home, so you might as well drink out of nice glasses.
Well, you can't go out and treat yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. I think sometimes when people are home, they're like, oh, I just got to kind of do my own thing. I'm like, no, everybody's stuck inside. Whatever you can do to make your day special, you should do it. I've just been eating potato chips and other vulgar items. That potato chips are normal, but I did order. God, this is so vulgar. Okay, everybody can rip me a new asshole on the internet. There's a big sale on caviar at the Costco, and I bought a giant tin of caviar, and I've been eating caviar the end of the Rome is burning, and I'm just eating caviar and potato chips.
I need caviar and more dried oranges, please.
You're just feeling very artisanal.
I mean, I ordered it online. It was on sale.
I feel like we've tried.
Yes, I was disgusted when he saw me. He's like, "Here's your box of garbage."
Yeah, I feel like Cass and I have tried to eat caviar like multiple times, or?
I think Aisha, I think you have actually tried to be like, okay,
Fucking
guys,
hate it.
this time you were doing it wrong
It's
before. And we're
so
like,
bad.
that's every time. I don't mind it if it is part of a dish.
I do.
The garnish.
But I really do think that there are times where it can accentuate if it is like topped and sprinkled on a certain type of dish. I'm obviously a foodie. I feel like you and I are always the ones that are like, let's go to this obscure restaurant, buy only like some weird
And no
chef.
one else wants to eat there, and they all
Yeah.
stop, like,
And it's always just you and me. But
Yeah. You guys sure you don't want to order Domino's instead?
Yeah.
we do that too.
We're gonna
We
have
do
chicken tenders here in like 20 minutes.
and so but like I don't mind if it's sprinkled on. What I can't do to this day is like just where you get just caviar and scoop it up and
On a cracker.
it's to me it's a complimentary thing. It's not a standalone thing.
My friend wrote and said they were having a big sale. It was super cheap, and it's like it was like it really is. It's like, you know, $50.
How cheap is cheap caviar?
$50. I
It's
spent
like a
$50
cheap
on
diamond?
caviar. I spent $50.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I will donate that much money. I will donate 5 times that much money to charity immediately. And like, people think of caviar as being hundreds of dollars. It was not that expensive, but I'm going to donate that exact amount of money and more to charity. Because now I just can already smell the Twitter comments. I smell them coming.
Can we trick you into talking about other expensive things that you bought and also match that
No.
charity?
Let's take a tour of this apartment.
Oh, this was $6.99, and as you can place the cork, I'm going to make it last until it's flat. I'm very thrifty otherwise. I'm a thrifty girl. So you read this script a few years ago, and then we were trying to figure out something to do, but at the time it was a feature. And then Cass, it was your suggestion, hey, can we try to turn this into a short? And so then were you like plucking out moments, or did you just research?
It was I honestly reworked the entire thing. It was just the idea of, we knew that we could get you and Steven to do it, and you guys are automatically very competitive with each other. And so it was that I was
That's
just
not true. That's not true. I'm not competitive with her. I'm not.
I don't even know what you
I
said.
spent $75 on caviar.
I don't even know. I mean, I can't be competitive with someone who's not on my level.
Oh.
That was just mean. I love you.
You know what?
This is why we need a sequel.
I didn't hear that, and I don't know if I want to.
I really wanted
going,
to
Taylor, keep going, man.
tear my sleeves open.
I think we actually did.
I'm not as strong as you, Steven. You definitely
right.
win on the
I know.
short tearing.
Even
Which is not to say that we haven't wrestled like 4 times.
I need to do more push-ups like that.
Cayman and I actually did have several calls/meetings about how we could rewrite these characters off of the relationship that you guys had, because it is so interesting that we wanted to incorporate that, and then obviously just pump it up from there. But we definitely changed. By we, I mean we discussed it, but Cayman gets full credit for rewriting and changing these characters to make it work, and it was super seamless because you guys stepped into them just intuitively and easily, and it was great.
It was really fun, and the script was really funny from the get-go. And then we did a lot of playing, and everybody. This was Cass's first like short feature direction gig. She was amazing, and we put it together really quickly because we were all working at the time, and everybody flew in for the weekend because of some mishaps, which I will not articulate. I almost didn't make it.
Blah, blah.
Somebody got fired.
So yeah, so that person's knife. But so I kind of came to set like right. I think I got into Vancouver and came like I said, like right from the airport.
Yeah,
We were tracking your location.
Or
From
you
Steven.
were watching to see
You
if I
didn't
could get.
you didn't get into. I think you didn't even give it into the local airport. You got into like the next.
No, I had to fly into the airport on this. I couldn't get across the border at first, and so I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say.
No, we have to get into it.
I had to fly to the closest
I should
airport to
know, I should
Canada,
know.
and then we had to drive across the border. And it was skin of our teeth. It was exciting. It was an exciting morning, and then it was so much fun. Cayman, this isn't the first thing that you've written that you've kind of been a part of and gotten produced, is it?
No, I mean, I've done some other stuff. I have a book, but that's not,
But
television.
Written.
Cass and I did a project
shot.
before.
Mhm.
Do what?
Was something you wrote, you were acting in and was being shot. Like, what was that experience like for you doing this thing?
Really great, because it was also, we were very loose with the script, which was really took a weight off of my shoulders as the writer. I didn't feel like what I showed up with that day had to be what we were going to say when we filmed an hour later. There was that ability for us to just kind of stand there, and like if something funnier came along, which it always did, we were able to do that. And that takes a huge weight off too.
The structure was so funny that like all the ad libs really fell into the beats nicely. Sometimes, like, you know, if there's not a strong script, ad libbing just knocks you off course, no matter how funny. You know what I mean? You end up shooting a movie that's not the movie that you intended to shoot. What was great is that the characters are so strongly defined and the script was so fun that all the ad libbing just kind of like fell into these beautiful like structures that were already there, which was really great.
Yeah, you gotta have a starting point, because that's what sparks and inspires more things, right? Like you can't just say, okay guys, no background for you here, no baseline, just go for it and see what happens. You gotta it doesn't work. You have to have you gotta have something to start with, and then you can say, oh, okay, well that was funny, but here's how we could change it up, and it might be different or it might not work or whatever. And there were multiple scenes where I actually cut together different takes because we did so many improv-y funny things, and I'm like, that's cool, that's great, that's cool, we're gonna use that, let's just sort of merge it all into one. And that was because the writing was solid to begin with.
The people that are watching that know Steven from Arrow might not realize, despite that first season hairstyle, that he's really very funny. He's really a very funny guy, and he was very, very funny on this shoot. It was
you know, I mean,
you're standing on garbage cans.
My wife and daughter are the same people. They're constantly fucking knocking me into things and just making noises and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, people, you know, Oliver Queen maybe doesn't have the reputation of being funny, but you know,
Jokester.
Oh yeah, there he is. Oh, there's a beautiful portrait of Steven. No, I can't put it on the wall, but I'm assuming it says I'll never wear this haircut again on the show. Except that you are going to wear that haircut again.
I am. I'm going deep on this, and I don't know how well it's showing up right now, but my neck right now looks like a 70s bush. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, people might not know that I like doing comedy because Oliver Queen is not necessarily like a funny character. So what I'm hoping for is eventually to get like a series regular, like really cool supporting role on a critically acclaimed, like maybe HBO show like Hung or something like that, which I did 9 years ago.
Yeah, but again, were you funny on that show, or were you just okay? I like your sleeves.
Hey, this is really about Cass and Cayman chatting, but one of the ways that we really got lucky here with Speech and Debate is we were able to use Vancouver Film Studios where we shot Arrow during the series finale. And you know, there's a bunch of things that make me happy about doing this and happy about some of the thoughts that we have about going forward. But the fact that we asked crew members during the series finale, you know, got the okay from WB, and everyone showing up and really working hard. That I'll pick that one thing to say that means so much to me because they were on point.
They were so excellent. Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened otherwise. It would have been
absolutely not. They were so professional and pumped to be there. I loved that multiple takes I had to tell the crew to pipe down because they kept laughing. And I stand by the fact that I think that they had a ton of fun because all the shows that they work on are super serious, and you know, there's a ton of it's all dramaticism.
Yeah, everything.
But it was just really funny it was fun for them to get to do something that was really funny and lighthearted, and just everybody had a good time.
Yeah, it was a very funny. It was a very enjoyable shoot, and it was fast because we had those 2 days, and it didn't feel burdensome.
It was also fast because we had no other choice.
This is also true.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of prepping to direct episode 209 of Roswell, New Mexico, which airs next month. And I leave and fly back from New Mexico. That was a part of the exciting odyssey of why I barely made it. And then I had to scoot back on the Sunday pretty, like not even, like you guys weren't even wrapped when I left, right? You had to get me up by like 2.
No, we wrapped a little bit after. We wrapped you right in time to get to the airport. I mean, I remember getting to the end of the first day and we wrapped early, and I was just sitting there thinking, I mean, I know I'm a first-time director, but did I fuck this up? Are we missing something?
No, it's crazy when you finish on time and then you think, oh, I clearly didn't get a movie because there's no way.
I thought that I didn't get what we needed, and then we had everything that we needed. Unfortunately, the style really lent itself to that, but that was definitely a concern of mine. And we got everything. We got you out on the plane as scheduled.
Aisha, you might disagree, but I've actually witnessed directors that are legitimately worried that if they have a budget for a 12-hour day, we'll submit a 10-hour day, and then the producers will be like, well, why didn't you just stick around and get more coverage? And so you'll end up being on set for longer than you need to be because they're just literally trying to fill space.
And
It's my least favorite thing.
Yeah, I work exactly the opposite. I plan the day, I shoot the day, and when the day is shot, I wrap. So typically I wrap early or on time. On the last show that I shot, I wrapped 6 of 9 days, a minimum of an hour early, 2 days on time, 1 hour of overtime. Because I feel like also, people are tired. They have kids. They need to pick up from school, And so the goodwill and the rest that you garner with people when you send them home early, they're going to bring that energy onto set the next day. They're going to be excited to be there.
Oh, for sure. Energy on set. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's funny though, I got off the last thing I shot and I was like, oh shit, did I get a movie? Because I wrapped early so many days. And then my editor was like, you sent me so much material, I could barely wade through it all. Because that's just not proper planning. But a lot of guys, I don't know. It's the same thing like if you're given a budget, you want to spend it all, but like you should just be shooting the movie and not worrying about like somebody taking time away from you. You get the time you get. And sometimes you have to go into overtime because you have no other choice. You're on a location, you lose it in the morning, you got to get the shots. But you don't want to be putting people through their paces just to prove a point because they'll fucking piss in your coffee, man. In Cayman's case, in your ice latte, like whatever you have.
How many people have pissed in your coffee? I want to know how many people's coffee you've pissed in.
You know what? I've never pissed in coffee, but now that you mentioned that, I just realized that I probably consumed piss in coffee.
Luckily for all of us, urine is completely sterile when it leaves the body. And generally harmless, unless the person's drinking a lot the night before, and then you might get a buzz. For people who don't know, the charity today is Team Rubicon. It is an organization that retrains and deploys veterans across the country to help support disaster relief. At this particular time, they are sending veterans all around the country to help with COVID relief efforts. It's a great organization because it has a twofold mission to retrain and redeploy vets and help them continue their mission of giving back to the country and working on behalf of the rest of us, and also to help support COVID relief efforts around the United States. So if you want to learn more about them, check them out. It's teamrubicon.org. If you need help, 211.org for the United States, 211.ca for Canada. Resources if you are having a hard time as you move through this unprecedented crisis. And you can donate if you like to Team Rubicon. Both Stephen and I have initiatives going on with our companies. Courage and Stone is donating 30% of everything we sell to the U.S. Bartenders Guild and to support our bartenders. And I want Stephen and Cass to mention the initiative with, because I can't remember all the details.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a bunch of different things going on. We're supporting small businesses in Walla Walla, where our winery is based.
I'm getting vermouth. Keep talking.
And then at official quarantinewine.com, you can check out the 4 charities that Ashton and Mila designated that we will be donating to.
Yep.
And
it's things like getting people personal protection equipment as they are on the health front lines, and basically all the things having to do with quarantine that need the most attention, because healthcare workers are working their asses off, and the last thing they need to worry about is having the proper equipment to do their jobs.
Yeah. Also, Aisha, let's chat. Let's chat offline. Whatever you are donating to the charity today, we would love to match.
It will match.
Love that. Thank you. That would be awesome.
Also, just a side note, I just realized that for your Texas people that are.
Yeah.
This
I
is my
made
soda of choice for our cocktail hour.
I think that's a really good choice. And I made this spritz, but I'm going to add some vermouth to it now because then it makes it Negronis Baleado. And I just realized I don't really like spritzes that much. So we all learned something about ourselves today.
It's a beautiful bottle of vermouth.
Out of all the times we've been on vacation together and I've watched you drink spritzes, you're just now realizing this.
I know. I don't know. I mean, guys,
You know,
When
I guess like we've got this pandemic to thank for you being on time and also coming to some real
for me.
Okay, so but this is a simple answer. We know why you don't like spritzes. Because you put fucking olives in them.
Olive in it. Yeah.
My favorite part. It's perfect now. Just eat it.
It's the only good part of it.
I mean, I feel like I always have a Negroni Sbagliato with you, but it is always a after the sun sets. Campari very much for me is a post like post dinner or post sunset type of thing. Aperol to me is very bright and light, and I like to have it during.
It's a morning drink. You drink it. You have it with eggs.
I'm not opposed to Aperol with eggs. I'm totally in on that.
It is absolutely my wake-up cocktail. It's my brunch baby. It's the thing I drink when I'm trying to get right in the morning for sure. We're going to take some questions in a minute. So you can ask questions on YouTube. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can also tweet any questions that you have. People are asking again where they can see Speech and Debate. It's on all of Steven's socials. Go, Steven.
So Instagram.com/Stephen Amell. You can check out Speech and Debate there. It's on my IGTV channel.
Yeah.
What you can also check out is another long form chat that the four of us did maybe 2-3 days ago. It was last year. So it was sometime during the global pandemic.
Honestly.
And you can get all the information there. But Speech and Debate, Stephen Amell, Instagram channels, go check it out. Aside from one person that clearly created 9 burner accounts to shit on the movie that she probably hasn't even watched,
It's possible.
really good.
You know, it's possible I dated her boyfriend back in the day.
Yeah.
Or something.
Sounds like a
Okay.
jerk.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well,
it's-
you know.
I have a short list of people who it probably is.
I mean, they took a lot of time to create a lot of fake accounts on a lot of platforms. So it might have been like somebody that came in and I mutually offended together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone has a lot of time right now.
There's
It can
like
be
one or
anybody.
two people that just have made it their mission. And I always wonder about the person that like makes a burner account, then it gets blocked, then they make a new one, then it gets blocked. Like, and I literally, this is a legitimate question. I don't mean to sound like I'm being an asshole, but like, don't you have any fucking else thing to do? Like nothing.
Well, no, right now people do not. At this
Yeah.
point, like right
Yeah.
now they don't, but
Yeah.
normally you're correct.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, they might have stuff to do, but it's clear that they're not doing something, which is living out their dreams because they fucking hate themselves.
I just kind of think that if you're happy with your life and where you're at, that you don't really care
Clap your
what it
hands.
is,
Oh,
I agree.
right? Like what? I just mean like you don't criticize someone's relationship if you're happy in your own relationship or comfortable with yourself.
Or like,
It's
even
only
people
because
like,
you
why are you
learned or
criticizing
because
someone else's
you're
relationship?
dissatisfied in your relationship that you're like, well, you guys suck, or whatever. I'm picking that as an example, but
Yeah, like-
job, relationship, whatever.
Yeah, like as an example, right? Like people have thought forever that Emily and I are married, and that this is a
She's
beard.
actually in the
And-
other
and-
room.
and it-
She
and
wants
that's
to head
true.
back out
And
now.
that's why I
Excellent.
stopped
Excellent.
recording. She just arrived. But like, what
And-
the fuck? Like, it's like really.
wait,
like,
don't
it just-
people also think that Aisha and Emily are married? Isn't that a thing as well?
They also-
Yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm.
That's correct.
Which by the way makes it a very juicy story. A very, very juicy.
All of our driver's
Wait,
licenses are
wait,
Utah
wait.
driver's licenses. So
I love it.
Multiple-
multiple marriages, you know.
Well, you know, we've got to get those checks from the government somehow. Okay, so I was just reloading my YouTube page so that I can see everything, and anyone can ask any questions that they like. I want to mention that everybody here has other projects going on. Cayman has a book out right now called Dylan St. Clair, the one and only Dylan St. Clair, that is really, really cute. If you follow me and you follow Kirsten Banksness from Criminal Minds, we're going to be doing a live reading of the books at some point. We haven't picked a time, but just make sure to keep an eye on us because we're going to do a little live reading of that book. And it's about an out boy living his life, and it's super cute. And I have cried a couple times since I read it. Stephen is getting ready for a new TV show whenever we come out of our mutual, our whatever this is.
It's a global.
I'm losing my mind slowly, obviously.
Yeah. You know, I've got deals going on, but the cool thing about this, and we'll be announcing these soon, is that we've got nothing else to do, and this is really. And Cass said this the other night, like she was waiting for this to happen. My creativity has just like clicked back on, because since I was about to wrap on Arrow, I went through just a little bit of a lull of not wanting to get out there and be creative and do stuff. And
I think one of my favorite
that
parts
day has
of
passed.
that moment was when he insisted that we call Cayman at 11:30 at night.
Yep.
And try to convince him how we could potentially do another, in some capacity, some more content for speech and debate. And Cayman and I are literally sitting on the phone like,
Convince Cayman. Interesting.
If you could see my files on my computer, I have enough speech and debate
he's
content
like, I have ideas we
to
can
run longer than
guys, how
Frasier.
come you guys aren't on board that we can make more happen? And I'm like, were you not on the call with
We
Aisha
had like 6 hours ago.
the 4 previous times that we tried to convince you to make this happen?
You know, at the end of the day, at that moment, I was the hero of my own story. So I'm excited.
But I tried to go to bed, and he's like, what are you doing? We're at the peak of our creativity. And I'm like,
Stephen
it's been 5 weeks in the corner over there.
Active limbo. Everyone else is like in bed. Stephen's like, guys, have you thought about this? The first 15 minutes of Nicholas right after he takes the pill. Guys, we should do this.
Anyway, I've got ideas. I'm glad you guys are finally on board.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on board too.
Ollie Maffey from San Francisco says, can you ask Stephen if he plans to do any more work with the WWE? Us wrestling fans love him. And I'm going to answer this question. We all went to see Stephen play in Chicago. It was really fun. What was the name of that WOD? All In. Was it called All In? It was called All In.
It was called All In. Yes, it was in Chicago.
And it's really fun because some of us are big wrestling fans and some of us are just there to support Stephen, but it was a lot of fun. I can't tell everything that happened on that trip, but one of the things that happened was that Stephen did a coast to coast, and then he jumped out of the ring and he hit a table, and he broke a big part of his man.
He broke his hip.
Yeah, he didn't break his penis. He broke his hip. But then he
it
insisted
sounds like
it wasn't
he
broken,
broke
just that he had like a little lid. He was a little tight. He needed to stretch. But it was one of the most beautiful coast to coast I've ever seen, and very.
That means a lot. What were your other favorite coasts to coasts?
There was the fight. There was the slap fight. I enjoyed the slap fight. That was.
Oh
really
my
fun.
God! So look, when you're in a wrestling match, you do knife edge chops, but then at the last minute, the technique is that you put your hand over and you smack the person right in the chest.
But really, you're doing this.
That's exactly right. And Aisha comes into my locker room afterwards. I'm sitting in my wrestling tights, dripping with sweat, drinking a beer, trying to figure out why it seems like I'm sitting on a tennis ball. That was the broken hip. I've got welts all over my body, and Aisha comes in and goes,
welts shaped like hands, by the way.
Yeah. And Aisha comes in and goes, hey, cute spot fight that you had with that guy in the ring. When it comes to that question, and thank you for it, I'm super thankful to the WWE for everything I've done. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with them in the future. I have enjoyed being involved with AEW and doing stuff with them and working with my buddy Cody. But who's to say what will happen when this ends and Heels begins? We will see. Oh, but one last thing.
Yes.
Cassandra has actually told me that if I do another singles wrestling match, that divorce is on the table. Actually,
I think I talked about consequences.
yeah. You know what those consequences were? Divorce.
I think
Yeah.
It was a fun weekend. We enjoyed ourselves. And that's what matters. Let's see. Cayman, Donna would like to know, where is the best place to buy your book?
Amazon, Target, all the Barnes and Nobles, all those places.
Love
It's
it.
all online now because you can't go anywhere.
But you can get it online.
It comes out May 5th, which I think is like 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it now on Amazon.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo by buying a children's book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're already going to Target to get tequila.
Do what we have to do. Let's see. What have we been reading or binge watching?
Ooh. I read, this is actually an interesting story. I read Station 11, and what I didn't know until I got maybe like a couple chapters in was that it is about a global pandemic with a SARS-like disease that wipes out 98% of the population. And there's pieces in it that are like, I was there and remember the last day we had electricity. And I'm like, oh God. And then I kept reading it and I read the entire thing because it was almost like this, it was like a car accident situation where I'm like,
Well, also, it's like, well, tell me
I
my future.
don't know.
How does
I
this
mean,
end?
What do I do?
By the way, it's an excellent book. I think it topped the charts in like 2014 or something. It didn't come out in like March, but it's been out for a while. But it was a
Station
bestseller.
11? What's it? Is that called Station 11?
Station 11.
Yeah. Now that Cass has finished the book, and she
I
misses
built
it.
an underground bunker.
Hang on, excuse me. Now
Yeah.
that Cass has finished the book and she sort of misses it, she recreates the sensation of reading it during a global pandemic by punching herself in the face repeatedly.
But like with a chop. So it's not, just
I-
chop,
like
like
it-
a chop in the face.
How do you do it in wrestling?
All right, you want to give me a chop?
Okay, no, I'm giving you a chop. You're not giving me a
All right,
chop.
I know,
Okay, ready?
I know. You gotta go.
What are
I-
you?
I-
What are you
then-
reading?
Don't I cup my hands and make a
Kung
pop, right?
Fu and then slap. Kung
No.
Fu.
That's like, this is not as loud. Hold on.
Ooh, guys, this is.
I am not a professional.
This is a
You will never get sore
family-friendly
on heels. That's the
drinking
sign right now.
program. Cayman, what are you reading besides your own book or watching?
I've been into horror lately. I wanted to
Oh.
watch every scary movie that exists, and I have a list that I've gone through. I did a thing on my Instagram of like suggesting people asking to have suggestions for movies, and there's been some fucking creepy ones. There was one called Hell House, LLC.
LLC, that's the name. The whole
LLC,
name?
yeah.
LLC.
LLC. It's on Shudder. It like there are some like moments to it, but there are some moments that like legit spooked me. And like I was like darting my eyes around the room at night and had some nightmares. It was kind of creepy.
I'm not.
I've just been doing hallucinogenics and watching cats every night.
That feels,
Ugh.
that feels right. I can tell you something. I've never.
That's what they call pride, though.
I'm on a full like cat and dog video diet since 2016, but I've really upped the cat and dog video intake over the last like.
Cat and dog.
Talking about Cats, the musical.
Please.
Yeah.
No, not that. Oh, the musical. Oh no.
I still haven't seen it.
Jellicle Cats.
Oh,
We tried. It was a disaster.
The one thing that I've been watching that I've been doing a YouTube deep dive on that not with Cass so much. We've enjoyed a couple of different TV shows in Ozark and
Curb Your
Curb Your
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
We just started what we
which I
do
used
in the
to-
shadows.
Okay.
Oh, I just started that too. It's so good.
Yeah. What we do in the shadows?
Yeah.
You didn't like it? I love the like real life vampire that drains people's energies. He kills me in that show.
But Aisha, I've gone on a deep dive, and I think that you would dig this. I've gone on a deep dive of White House Correspondents' Dinners.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They're funny, but they're painful to watch because no one
Yeah.
ever gets a laugh at those things. And so You're kind
Well,
of impressed by the material.
not true.
Cringing the whole time.
Colbert
Yeah.
absolutely destroys W, but every Obama White House Correspondents'
They
Dinner
were brilliant because
is
he was-
phenomenal. It's so good. Seth Meyers
he was
plays.
funny. He was funny, and he had a sense of humor about himself. So he did
Yes.
him being ribbed, and then he could tell a joke.
Yeah.
Like better than any recent president, like of the modern era. The guy could tell a joke.
Yeah.
It was really
You mean Obama?
yeah, I'm talking about Obama.
They're,
Yeah.
good
He didn't
because
mind people
Obama.
making fun of him, and then he could get up there and he like you could see that it didn't affect him, no matter what anybody said. He didn't get his feelings hurt, and then he would go up and he would slam everybody, and he
Yeah.
was so good at it. Yeah, so it felt like a back.
Yeah, we talked about this. He gave that speech one night, like where he's going up and doing like 30 minutes of comedy, while SEAL Team 6 was raiding Osama bin Laden.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and then he jetted out of there to go to.
He left from the White House Correspondents' Dinner and went directly into the situation.
With a G, man. I mean, he is still a G.
What
but
a G.
He was just a gangster president. He
Yeah.
was.
So
He
White
could-
House Correspondents.
He could manage two straight trains of thought at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
He could walk and chew gum at the same time.
That's probably why he was elected president.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, okay, we have just a few minutes left. And let's see, I want to remind everybody what we're doing when we ask one more question. You can watch Speech and Debate on all of Stephen Amell's social media platforms. It lives on Stephen Amell on Instagram, on IGTV. And then it's also on your YouTube and Facebook channels.
Yeah, if you Google speech and debate, or if you go to YouTube and put in speech and debate, it's
Also, all of our socials are pointing to it. So Cayman.
Yeah, that's Stephen with a PH.
Oh, I've been spelling it with a V for a really long time. God, who have I been talking to?
Fuck you, Mike.
Because that guy's a blast. It's super funny. We're feeling like we're going to make some more. We're working on some more content for Speech and Debate. We're going to build a whole world, which we're really excited about. And Cayman's got a new book out. It's called The One and Only Dylan St. Clair. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Target, anywhere you buy your books. Cassandra's going to be directing us in additional Speech and Debate joys. Stephen's getting ready. He's in the middle of a long lead towards his new show, which is entitled Heels. I am working on a bunch of stuff that we'll discuss at a later date, most of which is legal. From a charity perspective, we are supporting Team Rubicon today, which is an organization retraining and deploying veterans all over the country to support COVID relief efforts. You can check them out at teamrubicon.org. And I'm gonna just make sure I'm getting that URL right because I've had just enough of the spritz not to trust myself. Yep, I got it wrong, guys. It's teamrubiconusa.org. Teamrubiconusa.org. But they're tagged in all of my Twitter and Facebook posts, so you can find them that way. Teamrubiconusa.org, an organization of veterans who are continuing to contribute and work very hard on behalf of the rest of us. So it's a great organization. Check them out. They have a 4-star rating on Charity Navigator. 30% of all Curtain Stone, which you can get delivered to your house right now, 80-proof cocktail. Don't have to mix or do anything. 30% of that is going to the U.S. Bartenders Guild. And Knocking Point has multiple charity initiatives going on right now. So you can go to knockingpoint.com.
bestwineryever.com.
Bestwineryever.com. If I go to knockingpoint.com, will there be porn?
Will there be what?
You know, we're considering that. I'll bring it up in the next meeting.
Say, guys, just to zhuzh.
People have reached the end of Pornhub now. We need more.
We've all got to the bottom of Pornhub. Whatever your thing was on Pornhub, you've watched it all.
You've seen it.
Exactly. I'm looking at stuff I'm not even interested in just because I'm out of stuff in my
I am currently terrified to say anything.
Yeah, I think it's safe. I think it's safe if you don't pipe up.
There's a mute function, but
Hey, Cayman, before we go, just because it's the second time that we've done like one of these group chats together, and especially if we're creating more speech and debate stuff, the next time that we do this, if you're in the same spot, take that painting out and give that piece of art that Cass and I gave you for your birthday and pop it up there, okay? Okay?
Yeah, that one.
You mean that?
You
Yeah.
bear, Stephen.
You know what? I don't know where we found that, but I didn't anticipate you doing
the
that.
internet.
Well
Where
done.
are we
That's
going?
Which, by the way, all the letters are connected. And when my parents came over, I was like, well, I have to take this down. And it took me an hour and a half to get it back up. I was like, fuck it. They're just going to have to deal with this next time.
I am an adult male. I'm living my life.
Yeah, leave me alone.
It's art, you guys. It's art.
It is.
Here's one right before we sign off. Bethany, thank you for saying Girl and Guy was your favorite podcast ever. That's the first time that Steven and I hung out, was on.
Oh man, Aisha, I that was a wonderful time. San Diego Comic-Con, first thing in the morning.
Very hungover.
I remember listening to you interview Emily for like an hour and 40 minutes while I ran on the Hudson River in New York. You were great at it. I don't know why you stopped, and that's
because she had too many other jobs.
well, guess what? Podcasts are sort of happening right now. Maybe you should
Revival.
consider it.
I'm directing now, and I'm working with my friends on their creative projects, and I'm supporting my friends in what they're doing, which I really enjoy. And thank you, Bethany, for listening and for supporting Girl and Guy. Oh, this is good. This will be our little lightning round answer before we sign off. Someone, someone popped in, I think the name is, I'm having a hard time writing it. Taylor Binks says,
crap.
from Pasadena, says, came and fix your hair.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend, and he's gonna cut my hair.
I'm dead. That's so
Got
funny.
it.
It looks perfect. Nerdy Chicken 92 wants to know, what are we all planning to do when we can actually get out of the house? Like, what's your first thing that you want to do when we can go back to something
I'm
that,
gonna lick a park bench.
right?
Just
Just sit outside.
I think, are we talking about when basic restrictions are lifted, or when things are like really starting to go back to normal?
You know, it's so weird because I feel like, and a lot of people have been writing about this, is that maybe things are not going to go back to normal for a long time.
Yeah.
Behaviorally, we've all changed the way we behave. I don't know, in the way that, like, you know, no one used to wear seatbelts, and now everybody puts on a seatbelt, and people used to smoke.
That's exactly
Right.
For indoors, like, get out here. You know what I mean? Like, we may have been changed forever. So
Yeah,
I don't.
I agree.
We have been changed forever, the same way that like you used to be able to like smoke a cigarette as you walked through the security line at an airport, and then things change. First thing that I do, honestly, that I think about, I want to be able to fly to Toronto, and I want to be able to go up and be confident enough in where we've come in terms of testing and making people feel safe that I can give my mom a big fucking hug.
Yeah.
I would like to film more stuff, maybe.
yeah.
More
I want to get to work, bitch.
Yeah.
I know, I want to get back to work too.
Yeah.
And
Cass and I also, this is kind of our perfect environment. We don't like touching.
no, you don't want to touch or hug anybody
But
ever.
this has kind of been a little bit of a relief. So
She
I
tolerates.
hope that this lasts for a little bit, at least the distancing socially.
I think we'll be hand fisting. That came out wrong.
Oh boy, did it
How about-
ever.
oh,
Oh,
Okay,
man.
That is something
Did you
different.
just say
hand fisting. I'm not telling you how to.
Did you just say fisting is what you want to do for the
Yeah.
first thing that
Yeah.
you're
I'm comfortable. I want to look. All of our group of friends, I will hand fist them. I will. I will.
We're
We can
very close
time
friends.
together. I will hand fist them.
We're very close to your friends.
Voluntary hand fisting over here.
Stephen, can you say hi quickly to Bethany, whose son is named Oliver after Arrow?
Oh.
Oh, hey, Oliver, Bethany's son, who's named after after the character that I played. Hello, my friend. Wherever in the world you are, I hope you're good. I hope you're being safe. And thanks for asking the question.
Yeah, thanks. Say hi to Ollie for all of us. Thanks, Bethany. Thanks for writing in. I love you guys. Everyone can watch Speech and Debate now. Just Google Speech and Debate, Stephen Amell, Aisha Tyler, Cayman Edwards, Cassandra, Jean Amell. And you can follow us at Cayman Edwards, Cassandra Pence, Stephen Amell, Aisha Tyler. The charity is Team Rubicon at teamrubiconusa.org. And I love doing this with you guys every Tuesday and Friday. And I'll see you on Friday at 5:00. Thank you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Thank you. Yay.